Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Right, we'll get ready in a minute. We're talking about things that we can't air because that's by the by. They can't hear you. You can say any naughtiness you like because they can't hear you. I've got you all muted. Ha 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 ha! I have the power. You are all muted. Anyway. I seem to.
It's showing my webcam now, not yours, Kevin.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. I can't tell. How are you anyway? Right, so I do believe we have 4 people connected, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Well, 4 characters picked, 5 people connected, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in chat. So it's all random. So I can't remember what we did last time.
We killed vampires.
Yes, you did, didn't you? Which meant
Vampires
you
on
were
a train.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, a Rooney.
Did we get an advance? I think we did get an advance, didn't we? We did
yes,
get an advance.
You got an advance. Yes, you went to Aspen. You went to Aspen, and you. Well, they weren't vampires, were they? No, they weren't.
They were flappy fish monsters.
They were vampire-adjacent things.
Indeed, yes.
And Belladonna fought. And Belladonna did the super Western thing of fighting on the roof of a train.
She did indeed. Yes, that's very true. You know what? That is very true. I didn't appreciate it last week, so there we go. Okay, so I do believe. Did you tell that? I don't think you gave you a chance to tell the tale yet, did we?
We have not told the tale yet.
All right. Well, there we are then. You're in Aspen. The fear level's 4 still.
Other than a dodgy train full of vampires, what is in Aspen?
Skiing.
Wasn't that where you dealt with the what's the word I'm looking for? The explosives on the train.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yes.
I think that is a town. I've lost my image here, so I'm just trying to find it now. Oh. There it is. There's the map. That's what I was looking for. Aspen's there. Yeah, train wreckers. That was where you defeated those hunts. The saboteurs trying to blow up the train. So Aspen, I believe, is a mountaintop refueling station. Trades labour up long grade in either direction. Stop here to refuel, replenish wood and coal, and learn of any obstructions lying in either direction. Courtesy of the Telegraph. In the past few months, the tall house has been burned twice. More recently, a near Jerome. Sounds like it's a town again.
Did you reset the adventure cards?
It's a rail depot, so it's not a town. So,
not if anyone can hear me through that.
Actually, it shows it as a. Oh no, it shows it as a rail depot. It has to be a town. Can't not be a town. So, otherwise, why would it can't not be a town? Because otherwise, it wouldn't have been on the town list for when I rolled for where the fear level was going up.
I don't think he has reset the adventure cards now.
Have they reset the adventure cards? Not yet.
Well, but it is listed on the map as a rail depot.
Yes, I think it's a town that's also a rail depot.
Well, I think what it might be is that's where there's a conglomeration of people, and therefore the fear level can be adjusted.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, technically, right? It's going to be people are going to gather there because the train does stop. It has to stop.
Yes,
because there's a river there, and the river supplies the water tower, and the steam train needs the water, so it's got to stop there. So so people can get on and off, so they're going to gather.
Yeah, I don't think it's a town looking at. Mind, it's got a telegraph office, so maybe.
I bet you
it's going to have to be
mining shacks and stuff.
I'm going to say no. It's got to have some civilization. Why else would you have a telegraph tower up there as well? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The train has to stop there, so I think it's an opportunity.
Actually, though, where's Almany on the map? Almany, it actually says it's a high mountain. Is a high mountain town, whereas Aspen, it says, is a mountaintop refueling station. Maybe it isn't a town. Maybe it is just that with a depot and some stuff. But that's fine.
And there'll be there'll be little maintenance and probably a big a coal bunker as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's a telegraph office. So maybe you can't really. Well, I suppose you can talk to the Denver Pacific employees, I suppose. If I want to make it more, if I want to make it more towny, I suppose we can. I think we did last time, didn't we? Oh,
Can I be heard?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm coming to the conclusion you can't hear us because every time you ask that we say yes, and then a couple of minutes later you say, "Can I be heard again?" So I'm getting the confusion.
Okay. Well, okay, that's fine, but I assume nobody could hear me because of the amount of times you were calling me she between you.
I'm calling you she. I was calling everything, wasn't I? I don't know.
I don't just mean you. I mean that at least 4 people called me she, and I kept correcting it, and nobody heard.
Okay,
Nobody reacted.
We didn't hear that. That's for sure. So I apologise.
Thank you, Kev.
You said you're they. That's what you said.
Yes.
I heard. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard.
Thanks, guys. It just got to me a minute then.
Aspen is 7,150 sea level, double acceleration. Aspen, and that's time zones, mountain zone. Communities near Aspen, Aspen. Okay. Isn't the way everyone goes skiing in America these days? Or is that a different Aspen?
I think it's the
Well,
only
that's-
yeah, it's Aspen. Yeah, you go there and meet millionaires who ski and
Aspen and Vale.
Dumb and
they're
Dumber are there.
beautiful. They're beautiful over the holidays with the holiday lights and all the snow.
So we need to find a group of people who look like they might want to listen to a story.
Oh, are you going to be telling tales again, Patrick? I think I'm going to go have a drink.
I'm gonna have a drink while I listen to the tale of whiskey. A drink of whiskey.
There's no point in doing all of this stuff if we don't let people know about it now, is there?
You're the best at telling these stories, so I'll let you do it. You know, if you need any
Some
support,
of us are not braggarts.
I'm good with the guns. I can do some, shenanigans.
Now, I wouldn't exactly call it bragging. If you don't let people know that the world isn't as bad a place as they think it is, sure, and it's never going to get any better now, is it? But if none of you want to get involved in telling the story, that's fine. I will leave it to myself.
It's an
Oh, I can
unincorporated.
do some of my kung fu moves on stage, I guess. It's not that big a deal.
And fire blanks at me gun.
I'm going to go have a drink.
I've heard it about you, Mr. Money.
You calling me a Jaffa?
It's an unincorporated community.
It's one that hasn't formally invested with a government. There's enough, it's a community. It's got stores, it's got bars, it's got everything a community has, but it's never been formally incorporated with the local government.
It's tax-free, babe.
Actually, not
No,
that
you
unco-
still
not
pay
that
like
uncommon.
they'd pay territorial taxes or state taxes or federal, but they wouldn't pay any local tax because they've never been invested with a,
Yeah, there's
I've just wondered. There's no Wikipedia page on them, so I can't tell you. I can't work out where they were settled.
I think they're basically well, no, we still have unincorporated communities throughout the U.S.
Apparently, Aspen's one. Apparently, Googled it. It apparently is. Anyway, go for it. Tell the tale. I'm not going to worry too much.
Well, I will first of all get talking with some people and try and get them to tell what's been going on around the train yard, because that's where there've been dark and mysterious figures. And then once they've set the scene for me, I will then go in with, so sure, and that's what we came across when we were at the train yard earlier tonight. There were some strange things moving around on the train, so there were. We decided we'd take a look. After all, that's the kind of business we're in. When things go bump in the night, we're the kind of people bump back, so we are. So, onto that train where all the dead folk had been found, we went, making our way through from cabin to cabin, starting at the caboose, and then on into the restaurant cart. 'Twas there that we came across a strange sight indeed. Looked like one of the train inspectors, so I approached him, so I did, and introduced myself. Top of the morning, so I said. And he turned to me and smiled, and his smile got wider and wider, and his teeth got bigger and bigger and sharper, and I knew right at that moment that this was no ordinary train inspector. Oh, so it wasn't. I've seen many a strange thing in my time. Nothing like that. Well, right at that moment, my friend from the Orient here, he leapt into action, waving that bladed spear of his, like a whirlwind, so it was. Meanwhile, Miss D, she jumped up onto the roof, having heard one of them moving around up there, and in the rain and the wind, oh, you can see that the shirt is still plastered to them, so it is. Well, she faced off against one of them up there with the lightning cracking around her, so it was. Oh, it would have been a sight to behold if I wasn't hiding inside, keeping myself dry from the rain. After all, this is a very nice hat, so it is. Well,
This hat. Sorry, shutting up.
Well, Mr. Money, he drew his pistol, as did Miss Mercy over there, and the two of them blazed away at one of these things. Bullet after bullet thudded into its chest, and nothing happened. Just smiled a wider, sharper tooth smile. And then I remembered the legends. Any beast can be slain with a blow to the heart, so it can. And so that's what I shouted out to my companions. Strike them to the heart and strike true, and they shall fall. And so they did. A shot to the heart. Mr. Money was to blame for that one. Miss D swung down from the roof, chasing another one, after showing the fella on the roof that she were cross. Oh, she were furious, so she were. She drove him right into the guns of Miss Mercy, who shot another one straight in the heart. Then Mr. Hong, with that great big stick of his, thrust the third into the heart. And all three of them fell, turned to dust, like the very devils they are. They'll be bothering you no more, good folks of Aspen. So they won't. And I appear to have quite a lot of support rolls. Cool.
I make it +4.
I make it +4 as well. So +6.
Yeah, I didn't support him because I'm off drinking, because who in the hell wants to hear Patty rattle on and on again?
Oh, that's fine. Well, that's a fear level lowered and a point of conviction for everybody that isn't Mercy.
That seems harsh. No, not true.
Because you only get the point of conviction if you support the tale-telling role.
Yes, and as far as I can see, John Watt, Sophia, and William Money supported you.
Well,
one tried.
Yeah,
tried
exactly. Yeah, it doesn't say that. It says who supports you. I'm being an evil git today.
Are you saying I need to spend a penny to get a conviction? Really?
Depends how you want to.
He's saying you supported him even if you didn't succeed, so you get the conviction.
That's
That's
what he's saying,
yeah.
but I'm saying raw. It's an interesting one. Well,
you're being mean. I
I'm
see.
being mean.
You're being savage, mean, Kevin. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, I'm being savage, meanie.
He's a meanie.
I'm a big fat meanie because you get too many bennies already, and now you're getting.
Don't get enough bennies, and we never get enough bennies with you. It's terrible.
Well, you got an excuse for Saturday, but you won't be getting any bennies from me on Saturday, will you? It's only because you're
No, I
on.
won't because I'll be at a bloody wedding, probably getting
Indeed.
rat ass.
Okie dokie. Aspen's fear level has been reduced to a 3. So there we go.
So the global thing is now reduced, is it? Or are you going to leave it at +10?
Well, in Aspen, it's reduced.
Yes. I do admit I did get confused by his use of the word global there. It's like, well, no, each town has its own fear level. And
Well, I mean,
annoy-
if we could affect the worldwide fear level, that would be great.
Yes. I have to admit, what's really annoying is if every time it's only when you reduce the fear level in Houston Hill, I get to roll in the and let's bugger up the players' rolls. I don't get to do it anywhere else.
We have a metagamey secret now, so all we need to do is avoid Heaston Hill, and we can go around and lower the fear level everywhere.
Well, I'm just about to check that, and also I could be lying. Don't forget, I could.
Hang on a second, I just noticed something. That's quite interesting.
What's that?
When you start whispering, a little speech bubble appears next to your token.
Well, you are typing.
Oh yeah.
I didn't notice that. I thought
The speech bubble appears whenever you type anything, so even if you're whispering, it would.
Have I only just noticed that after all these years?
It's only been in the product since
That's what I mean. Have I only just noticed
it's only been in the product for about well, I was going to say 28 years, but it's the other way around, isn't it? 17 years that I know of. It's only been in it since at least 2005. That's for sure. No, I don't know when they added it. It's the honest answer. What am I looking for?
So, where should we make our way to next, then, folks? Is it back to Heaston Hill to see if we can find out where this secret society exists?
How did we end up in Aspen anyway?
We heard bad things was happening, and we went to go scoosh it.
Sure, we rode on your infernal machine, so we did. That's how we ended up in Aspen. Do you not remember?
Well, that part of me was I had my
We
noodle
were
baked
in
then, and then
Hilliard.
my noodle is unbaked, and now I'm confused. So, right. Anyway, maybe we'll back at baking noodles.
Headed up to Bear River. We stopped off in Hilliard. We had a bit of a to-do with a jackalope. But because the train was only going one way that day, we decided to retreat back to Aspen because there's no place to stay in Hilliard. And then start off again in the morning for Bear River.
Sounds about right, so it does.
Yeah, so we're back to Bear River.
Yes.
Can you remind me why we were going to Bear River?
No, I can't remember either now. Oh, there's been a spate of murders and disappearances in Bear River.
So there has. We should probably look into that.
And apparently going to Bear River was a necessity.
Oh.
If it was that necessary, I'm sure Bear River would come to us.
Or maybe it was a boo-boo, I don't know.
Now we just need to get some clothes on.
Okay.
Not sure we want a fully dressed River.
Okay.
No, we just need a modest River.
Anyhow, nothing to worry about there. No attention to my evil laughter and me rolling dice in the background. I need someone to play that lovely sound effect on my behalf. Okay, you're going up
That was pretty
to.
good. That sounded almost on. Yeah. You didn't need the sound effect. You was as good as the sound effect on your own.
Yeah, you need to get a moo ha ha button.
I do need a moo ha ha button, especially if I'm doing any more of those Section D adventures. Right. I was going to do something and I've forgotten what it was. Yes. Still OD3, but it's a shame. Okie dokie. Right, you're heading to Bear River. Hang on. So that meant you went through Hilliard where you were earlier, weren't you? So you went through the big town of Evanston, did you?
By the train, yes.
By train, so yeah, that's no problem. And then you get to Bear River. Bear River, along the recent spells to Almany, lies the logging town of Bear River. No place else in Utica County lives up to the sheer wilderness and lawlessness, despite a U.S. Army stockade overlooking the single main street. The town was founded in 1871 in hopes the approaching Denver Pacific line would put it on the map when the line bypassed them entirely. Of course, they're on the spur, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
The local injuries languished for 10 years until a new spur arrived from Evanston. So you probably had to change it, Evanston, actually, didn't you? Which is the big town of the area.
We probably did then, yeah.
Would you? No. That's fine. Okay. Trade the deal. Pacific Line and the Army fort. Logging business has picked up considerably. Okay. There's a logging company. A small, dismal army fort and stockade, eponymously named, sits upon the ridge over Bear River. So it looks a bit run down and run down the fort. At 6,580 feet, Bear River is nearly as lofty as Almany. Oh, so it's obviously going back uphill to get there. It's fairly mild in midsummer. This is spring, I believe, isn't it? The outrageously cold in winters makes it a tough place to cut lumber. So there we go. And in the chill of deep winter, some claim to hear unsettling howls keening in the hills. Others awaken in the dead of night, gripped by an unspeakable hunger. There we go.
I guess we need to find out about the missing people.
Yes. Well, apparently, Munson Logging's the biggest company. Obviously, it's a logging town, and Munson Logging is the biggest company.
I'd be more tempted to go and have a chat with the Union soldiers up at the fort.
Chat with the Union soldiers up at the fort. Okay, it's, as I say, it's a small and dismal fort and stockade. Yes. As you approach, you get a distinct impression that the troops are not the finest example of military discipline. They appear. It's been notes. They mostly don't seem to, you know, if they're standing at the post, they don't appear to, they're not strongly at attention, and everyone appears a bit I suppose listless or demoralized is probably the way to go. There's something, just obviously something's
not right.
Not right. It's not the right word. Maybe they are just demoralized. They've been out here for too long. Who knows?
Good morning, Private. Could you point me in the general direction of your commanding officer, please?
That'd be Captain Colton J. Barron.
And where might I find the good captain?
Can I have a knowledge check from you, please, Marshal?
You know? Oh, I think I'll spend a penny on that.
It's a name that rings a bell.
Ooh.
possibly something you noticed, obviously, when going over paperwork, because before when you were coming out here. You can't remember the exact details, but something about a court martial with demotion from major to captain.
Oh, okay. So this is a you've been a naughty boy post for him. Private, could you point me in the direction of the captain, please?
Certainly, he basically points over. He points over to a small building at the back of the fort.
My friends and I would like to pay the captain a visit. If you'll,
Can
you wouldn't mind opening the
have
gate.
notice checks, please? As he opens the gate. Yeah. So as you walk inside, it's a sorry looking state of affairs inside this place. As you wander across, you can see there's a stockade with a soldier in it, and as you look around here, then you can't help but notice more than one of the soldiers in the fort appears to have welts or bruising upon their body.
Like they got into a brawl, or like they were beaten with a stick?
The latter, you suspect.
Hmm. Perhaps it might be worth you folks having a word with the soldiers. Chatting to them all social like, and see if they know anything that's going on. While I have a word with the captain, maybe myself and Mister Watt. I mean, us being the respectable types, so to speak. Not that I'm saying the rest of you aren't respectable, but I've got a badge and he's got the money, and that makes us, in certain people's eyes, more of it. I think I should probably start this again, shouldn't I?
The sergeant starts walking over as all of you come in, and he calls the privates to one side. You see some sort of gesticulations and shaking of heads and whatnot to the other, and then the private wanders back to his post, and the sergeant comes home and goes, "I'm terribly sorry. Hate to inform you this, but Captain Colton is unavailable today. Can I help you at all?"
Well, I'm sure you can, Sergeant. You can tell me when the captain will be available.
I wouldn't like to say. So it's the. Can I ask why you wish to speak to him?
Of course you can, Sergeant. We'll show him my badge and put it away. I've heard that there's been a number of missing persons in the area, and this area being under the captain's watch, I wanted to have a conversation with him about it. So I did.
Well, as I say, he's not available to question at this time. He's not in the fort.
And where might I find him, Sergeant?
Well, sir, he doesn't tell me that sort of thing, I'm afraid to say.
Sure, and any decent sergeant would know where his commanding officer was going, even if his commanding officer wasn't going to tell him. Because the sergeant would want to know to make sure everything was ready and spick and span when his commanding officer got back, so he would.
Well, that may be how you feel it is. Personally, we're glad to see the back of the bastard.
Is that the case? And why might that be, Sergeant?
I'm sorry, sir. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I see. Very well. Well, in that case, I shall make sure I give in my report that I shall be quite specific about the level of assistance that you were giving me. And, yes, I've taken a note of your number, Sergeant. Very good.
I don't think you really want to go that route. There's an awful lot of guns in this place. Shall we just say that you came here and spoke to the captain and everything was okay, and then they don't have to send out someone else who'd be worse than that psychotic cannibal bastard?
Does this guy have bruises on him as well?
Yes.
Put a hand on Patrick's arm. Maybe you give him a break.
Well, I most certainly could, if he'd be willing to give me one.
Psychotic cannibal bastard. Let me rephrase. Let me say that again for you. Psychotic cannibal bastard.
Yes, indeed. Not really, not quite the kind of thing that you'd normally be referring to your commanding officer as. So, what I'm getting from here, Sergeant, is that you have, well, psychotic cannibal bastard. That's quite a thing to levy on someone. If you got something to back that up, then perhaps I have a line of investigation that I can investigate with regards to the missing persons in the area. Of course, if you're telling me that the captain's not here and I should just tell people that I've never seen him, or well, that I've seen him and everything was fine, and yet you're telling me that he's eating people. Well, these two things, they don't seem to go together very well. So either you have an issue with your captain that needs resolving, and maybe I can help you with it, or you don't have an issue, you're making things up, and I do need to put in an official report, number of guns around here notwithstanding.
Private
You're a
Jenkins.
subject
Private
direct, aren't
Jenkins was up on a charge. He was taken into the captain's office 4 weeks ago. The captain and Private Jenkins have not been seen since. However, a search of the captain's locker found gnawed bones. Human bones.
These beatings that they've got, certainly within the last 4 weeks, yes?
Probably 4 weeks ago, yeah.
So all the bruising, what have you, is about 4 weeks old. Okay.
Yeah, well, you know, they're mostly faded bruises and, you know what I mean, healed over welts, as it were.
Okay.
Yes. The captain is a bitter man. Apparently there was a little incident with sort of massacring 2,000 Confederate soldiers.
I am aware of certain parts of the captain's reputation, and of his former rank as well.
That were prisoners under his care. Sorry, 200, not 1,000, sorry. 200 prisoners of war that were under his care at the time.
Indeed. So I take it you would like to see the captain brought up on charges then, Sergeant?
Absolutely not. The captain
Or just
is
to no longer be your problem.
the captain is gone, and we're happy to see the back of him. And until we actually have to report him missing, everyone's a bit happier in this place. We're beginning to heal, Marshal.
Ah.
I haven't seen a happy face since I got in here, but I'll take your word for it, Sergeant.
What that man did. Do you know what it's like to have a man beaten to death for having dust on his boot?
So wouldn't it be kind of terrible if he came back?
Exactly, but he hasn't yet. It's been a month. We're not that bothered at the moment.
Yeah, but what if he does come back?
Well, I'm afraid if someone was trying to break into this place, I'm sure it would be perfect. It's defending of the camp and all that. It would be very unfortunate if, in the confusion and the darkness, someone accidentally shot the officer.
Aye, or if he accidentally wandered off on his own and got shot by, bandits or something, that would be terrible.
As I say, he vanished 3 weeks ago.
Just now,
All right.
Sergeant, you said that was 4 weeks ago, but I'll
Oh,
allow
We're
your
in the middle. We're in the middle of a week.
No,
Very
it's just
good,
I was
Sergeant.
going to say it'd be a tragedy if he came back, but maybe we could guarantee he doesn't come back.
Well, I think you should go talk to Lydia Munson. She's the one who is telling weird tales of a creature stalking her camps and running off with lumberjacks in the middle of the night. 3 so far, I gather.
Well, it's very good to see that the Union Army are so caring about the citizens.
I have barely got discipline back under control. Once I've got everything working, we will be a cohesive unit again. And hopefully we'll never have to remember the stuff that sadistic officer did to all of us.
Well,
Come
It's
on,
been-
Paddy. We're traumatized.
it's been pleasant speaking with you, Sergeant. So
Open the gates, they're leaving. Sergeant shouts.
before we leave, Sergeant, you wouldn't happen to have any tallow candles in your stores, would you?
What are candles normally made of back then? That's the question, I suppose.
Quite likely tallow.
Probably, won't they?
If you could provide us with maybe a couple of dozen, it would be greatly appreciated. We'd certainly be willing to pay.
Take what you need. I mean, lots of discomfort.
If he will provide us with them, I'd like to hand everybody at least 2 tallow candles and say that we might need these later.
I dare I ask why?
If what's going on here is what I think might be going on here, you might want to melt these and give them to somebody as a drink. Though that particular somebody might be objectionable to having the drink. So, well, just make sure that it's ready and we can light them and melt them. There are things going on in this county that, well, after what we faced back in Aspen, I think we might be up against something quite similar. Big, sharp, pointed teeth and propensity for human flesh. But if this is, considering the altitude, what I think it might be, hot tallow down the throat is, let's call it a folk remedy, shall we? But I suppose we need to go and talk to this Miss Munson. If she's the business person in these here parts, that's not really my department we're talking to, so it isn't.
Do we know where to find her?
I would imagine, if she's in charge of the login, if we go to the well, speak to any of the loggers, they'll be able to point us in her general direction.
All right then. Sure.
All of a sudden, it has disagreed with me. I've blown up like a big fat balloon.
Dear.
Turned into a balloon.
Yeah. Ouch. The uncomfortable one, I'm afraid. Ooh. Okay.
Have you been eating everlasting gobstoppers?
No. Rice.
That was the chewing gum.
And it's the greens. I blame the greens. That's what it is.
That's it. Blame the vegetables. That way you can carry on eating the chocolate and sweets.
Exactly. Exactly. That's definitely the problem. Definitely the issue. Okay, well, obviously, say, Lydia doesn't have a double A in it. Anyway, Lydia Munson, I'm going to say, is obviously inherited the logging camp from her father before it started to make a good amount of money, apparently. She apparently her employee, obviously you don't actually talk to her, it's just her employees actually, but when you sort of head towards more the logging camps, you start hearing tales of a weird creature stalking their camps. They think it's probably a Bigfoot. It's already run off with 3 lumberjacks in the night, and apparently all around you can hear talk of quitting and leaving. Obviously, unless the boss sorts something out soon, you get the distinct impression that they're losing staff because of it.
Can we get somebody to talk with a little bit of persuasion?
I think you could certainly attempt to do so. Yes. Well, I mean, yes, the sort of, it doesn't take much to get them talking as you sort of walk around. Whether there was any other questions you want to ask away.
We could do with finding out.
Go on, what's that? Sorry.
We could do with finding out if these folks have been going missing from anywhere in particular.
That is, I think both the attacks have been headed out the northernmost camps, logging camps. Been just, in fact, they haven't actually taken place at the camps. They've been, individual loggers at the northern camps have vanished, I would say.
When did they vanish?
So far, one a week. 3 over the last 3 weeks.
So how long since the last one vanished?
6 days.
Yeah. I imagine if this is who I think it is, the not so good captain's getting hungry again.
I was just kind of thinking the same thing.
Now, do you think it'd be worth heading up near the northern camp and laying a trap? Having somebody look all feek and weeble and easily eaten up. I mean, myself, I look a little bit wiry and probably not very tasty.
Well, and if they prefer live meat, you're ruled out anyway.
Well, thank you kindly for that, Miss Van der Graaf. Perhaps you'd like to volunteer yourself to be the bait then?
Oh, not particularly.
Well, if you're looking for tasty-looking bait, that's a good job for me, right?
Well, I didn't want to volunteer you, Miss D, but it's very good of you to do so.
Well, we could make a dummy as well, I suppose.
If this thing's in any way an animal,
You
we can
just
probably
said
get
that
out.
we already ruled out Patty here.
I'm
I
sure.
am right here, so I am.
I'm sure I could come up with anything. You can maintain
Yeah,
it.
my name is Vancouver, but you don't ever seem to give a damn about that, so what's in the name, right?
So it is. So it is.
I mean, I was going to say, technically, we could make like a scarecrow and then stuff it with stuff it with meat. I'm sure I could fiddle it out or something.
Oh, I'm willing to be the. I'm already old. I can pretend to be feeble too.
Well, if Mr. Hong would prefer to act as bait rather than Miss D, I mean,
Oh, I can't allow a beautiful young lady like her to be put into such dire circumstances.
Oh, you flatterer, you.
If this creature is what I think it is, I've heard tales of people in the northwest that have been forced to eat of the long pig, so to speak. And, it changes them, so it does. But
Would I f-
the legends are that hot tallow poured down the throat is a sure way to end a beast like this. So what we would need to do is find a way to restrain and hold the thing down while one of us lights a candle and drips the tallow down its throat. Didn't say it was going to be easy thing to do, but
How big did you say these things were?
What are these things called?
I believe the name is Wendigo.
Wendigo where?
Wendy, well, she went to Neverland with Peter Pan, but no, Wendigo is a creature, a beast.
She went to
That's what we're
Holland.
asking you. When did they go?
Well, they went at night, apparently. Mostly. They mostly come at night, mostly. But they eat people. And one shouldn't eat people. Eating people is wrong.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
But the hot tallow is apparently a sure way to destroy a Wendigo.
Can't we just poke it with a stick a few times until it stops moving and then pour the tallow down its throat?
Well, it's certainly worth a try. They are said to be as strong as any three men put together.
What is the plan B? Because plan A is always poke it with a stick, and
Claws the
plan
size of swords,
yeah.
teeth
So
the size of knives.
And you
yes,
want us to hold it
Yeah.
down and
Yeah,
Nine
put the
feet,
wax on its
9
throat.
feet tall with legs as thick as tree trunks.
Luckily, my spear is longer than both a sword and a knife, so I think we'll be okay.
So plan B, I was going to say, because plan A is always poke it with a stick. Plan B is, does it get affected by nails?
In all honesty, in all of the legends I've heard, no one has ever tried to attack it with a nail.
I was going to say, just because you could make like a mine that goes bang, right, and then if that stuns it a little bit, then you could apply high voltage to it, and it might actually lie down and froth at the mouth a little bit. I don't know.
Again, electricity doesn't tend to it doesn't tend to have much of a place other than in the form of lightning strikes in most myths and legends. So it's not something I could really comment on, but it's certainly worth a try. Of course, we would have to get the nails into it first.
Oh, can't we just blow something up? Because we're back to blowing things up. Yay! Yeah. So why don't we just make a big bomb, fill it with nails, and then make a bait, and then if it goes for the bait, we blow it up.
We,
And
if
then
you can fill a
Mostly,
bomb with anything, can you fill it with that tallow stuff? Maybe that'll work because he said tallow works.
the
you
problem
could
is
do
making
that.
it swallow it. But indeed, if you could find a way to keep tallow molten and give it some kind of molten tallow pill, that would be most impressive. But the bomb with the nails in it, if we're anywhere nearby, just as with stabbing things through the heart, a stake through the heart will stop, according to legend, a vampire and vampire adjacent beast, as we've discovered. But a stake through the heart will also kill a human. Um, for that matter, so would a large number of nails exploded out of a bomb.
That was a lot of words to say a very small thing.
Well, you may have noticed I do
Look who
tend
we're
to let my
talking
mouth run
to.
away with me a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed.
So, at the risk of opening it to the floor, Mr. Money, Miss Vancouver, what do you think?
Sorry. I'm too drunk to even help.
I see. You don't think. Okay, that's fine. That's
Been,
to be
I had,
perfectly
I
honest.
had,
No,
I had
no more
too
or less than I
much,
expected.
too much whiskey.
Right. So the gun hand's useless. How about you, Miss Vancouver?
I reckon, right, I could probably get I could probably get something else to affect it though.
Did you have anything specific in mind, Mr. Watt?
Yeah, I mean, you could melt that tallow into a barrel extension, put it on a gun, and the bullets would go through the barrel extension and technically affect the creature with normal bullets.
Well, you have to get the tallow down its throat. We'd need somebody that was a very good shot and wasn't 3 sheets to the wind.
That could be a problem.
Right.
I'm sure normal gunshots will affect it, with a bit of perfect timing and, we come up with a really good plan of how normal bullets can affect it by going through a
Well, I suppose
tallow barrel.
it might not be the throat that's the issue. It might be getting the tallow into its stomach, and if you could shoot it in the gut, that might work.
We've got to find it first.
This is true. We should probably well, if it happens at night and it's likely to be attacking now, we don't have that much time to plan. I think we should maybe, well, at least it's the spring and it's not going to be particularly cold. We should maybe get some lanterns and head out into the darkness.
Where are we going to get those?
Well,
Do you know any way we can buy them?
I expect that there'll be some for sale in the general store. Though for that matter, well, the sergeant at the fort was a very friendly and personable fella. I expect we'll be able to take what we needed from the supplies there.
I'm not sure he's going to welcome us back in a hurry after that last conversation. I think he's pretty glad to see the back end of us.
Lydia
I'm
Munson.
sure he
Lydia
is.
Munson, maybe you might be able to convince Lydia Munson if you request a reasonable level of supplies, I suspect.
I knew there was something we were forgetting. Yeah, we should go see this Lydia.
Aye, she might know. But anyway, does you know?
Lydia, Lydia.
He said go
Yes,
and
I
talk to her
have met
because
the tattooed lady called Lydia.
she's supposed to know who's going missing.
Well, it's her people going missing, so it is. Maybe we should try and arrange a brief meeting with her before we head out to the north. You seem to have built up a little bit of a rapport with these burly, hirsute logging type gentlemen, Miss D. Perhaps you could ask one of them to introduce you.
Sure, I'll give it a go. Can't think why I've managed that.
Yeah, well, to be honest, actually, Lydia Munson is more than happy to. She is looking for help to solve the problem. So the second you suggest you may well be able to solve the problem, you're escorted to her quite quickly.
Excellent.
Sorry, I thought I was going to make an embarrassing noise. I had to mute the mic. Okay, yeah, basically, yeah, she is at her wit's end. So, what equipment do you want? Keep it easy while I'm muting the mic a few times. Lanterns, no problem. No problem.
Lanterns for light.
No problem.
We could probably do with a couple of shovels for digging a pit. It'd be if we can make a pit trap and maybe trap it in it, that would be a good idea too.
Okay, what do we need?
I'm not sure we've got time to dig a pit trap considering how late in the day it is.
Well, if we could have maybe half a dozen burly lumberjacks that like the look of Miss D, and she could bat her eyelids at them and get them to do the digging for it. Well, maybe not. Okay, perhaps not. Okay, poking it with a stick it is, but we'll leave the lanterns for light.
I'm beginning to feel like the pipe, and you're the Pied Piper.
Not at all, Misty, not at all.
Well, you can certainly grab a lantern out of the equipment. Now, if you grab the Deadlands lantern, it is more heavy and has the correct rules, but the the suede lantern is £1 lighter and has the light token effect attached to it.
Which is preferable?
I really don't mind. If you're planning
I
on
think
not
it might end up being pure luck.
as you say, you're going out at night, so from a visual aesthetic kind of view, maybe having light emitting lantern. Well, you can always put light lantern on the actual Deadlands one, can't you? Let me share the Deadlands one. You just have to manually add the light lantern effect to it.
Okay.
Square brackets light :space lantern apparently. Also, actually, Deadlands lanterns only burn for 3 hours per point of oil, so there you go.
So did you put that in as a modification?
You just put it in the text box, I believe, don't you?
Box under availability. Yeah.
Not the one with availability, but the one that says provides light in a 4-inch radius, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, just put it at the end of that text description, and that should do it.
Okay, cool.
Well, it emphasise the word should. We'll find out when you equip it.
Try and use it, yeah.
I'm not that bored if we don't. It's just obviously these sorts of things. I mean, because if you do it right, it should show up on the equipment as saying as light lantern, shouldn't it? Underneath it.
It does when you click it as equipped.
Equipped, yeah, which is reassuring.
Cool.
Oh, I'm bugging.
What's he been eating?
Vegetables.
Sounds like he's got IBS. I know how he feels.
I do. I do, but why it's triggered today, I don't know, because I haven't eaten anything that's meant to trigger it. But I have. Something's obviously disagreed with. Oh, there was probably bloody spinach in the bloody salad and I didn't notice.
See, it was the vegetables.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, I'm okay. I just might have to mute myself at random times.
No, just put music, musical fruit, man. Go for it.
No. It's okay.
Add some extra beef to your stream.
Is that what you call it?
Especially when you go, ooh, that stinks.
No. It's not like that at all.
Oh, that's
Anyway.
terrible.
Okay, right. Well, you're heading out.
Oh, it does work. Cool.
Let's just pop you. Let's just send you out to this logging camp I just made. There we go.
We're going on a Wendigo hunt.
In theory, this should work.
We're going to find a big one.
No, we're going to find a small one.
Oh, all right.
We're
If I
fucking
take-
scared.
If I take this new snazzy airgun pistol, right, and then coat the barrel in tallow, we should be okay.
Whose camp is this?
This is the northern camp where people have been disappearing from.
I see a leg
That would be the case.
and a head by the pot by the dinner.
Yeah, right. That's what's been left of what's disappeared.
Oh, that's so disturbing. There's a rib cage too.
It
Yeah.
looks like it looks like they've already visited. Maybe we
And
should look.
there's a couple of sausages in the pan.
How delightful. Oh dear.
Well, somebody's got legless here.
I didn't think
Delicious.
they were elves.
Right. As you're looking around in the,
There's a blood tail there as well. Getting that tent is a bit splattery.
Mm.
if at this point I'm quite proud of the gore effects on. they made this map. They took a nicely drawn map and made them quite disturbing. Okay, A howl goes up somewhere in the woods around you. Where are you?
Right.
You're in Evanston, aren't you? Which I forgot to check what the fear level is before anyone makes a fear check. Evanston. Oh,
Actually, we're in Bear Creek.
That wasn't a fear check. That was
oh
a
yes,
prayer.
yes, you're right. You're in Bear Creek, aren't you? Which I do know is Bear River. Okay, yes, I know that was a prayer. So actually, you're right. It's Bear River. So I just need to do. I do definitely. As you head out into the darkness, and as you reach this camp, it definitely has to be said that by all means, that's your prayer. That's fine. Sorry, I definitely got distracted by trying not to be uncomfortably, violently, unpleasantly. Okay, so as you head out to this woodland here, the map doesn't really do it justice. All the trees look sickly. The shadows are moving all the time. And from the second you arrived in Bear River, you just get the feeling that someone's watching you all the time. And when I mean watching you, I mean literally standing behind you. Sometimes you can even feel their breath on the back of your neck. Every time you turn around, there's no. But anyway, this howl goes up, so I need everyone starting. Don't forget how it works.
Puppy.
Starting with William Money, because he's got gallows humour, hasn't he? And if he successfully makes his fear check and then makes a humorous comment, you get a bonus on your fear checks.
No, it's a puppy dog.
Anyway, it's a fear check at -2.
Well, I'll get a free reroll.
When you roll taunt anyway, so.
Yeah, I'm supposed to roll taunt, but I still get a free reroll.
Oh yeah, on your gallows humour, yeah. But you still have to make your fear check first, don't you?
It said character uses taunt instead of spirit when making a fear check.
Okay, but in that case, you failed.
I didn't get a raise, so I don't get the +1 support. But yeah.
Okay, you failed. You rolled a 1.
4. I rolled a 4.
No, you didn't, because you're doing taunt. It doesn't take in the global fear modifier of -3.
Oh, there's a global fear. Well, I'm definitely spending a penny on that.
-3, yowzers!
Oh, that's terrible. Okay, I'm going to do one more time just to try and save the day. Yeah, no, okay.
So -5, so you rolled a 2, I'm afraid. Okay, everyone else gets to make a fear check at -2 modifier with the -3 already programmed in.
Okay, then that's a 0 in that case.
Yep.
Nope.
Maybe we should have asked her for spare clothes.
Yay, so the amazing Adolfo is vulnerable.
You have to roll on the fear table ourselves.
You all have to roll. Yeah, you get to roll on the fear table with a lovely +2 modifier. Don't all have heart attacks. Fear table.
Mercy's got Mercy's scared or something.
There you go. Go on fear table.
Thank you.
So that's a 15.
Ooh, she gets a sexy blonde streak.
No,
Oh, no,
she gets a 15.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to add the modifier.
Damn
I
it,
got
we
the
worked.
hesitant syndrome.
Yeah, we worked out how to do that, didn't we? A couple of weeks back. How did we work out how to do it?
You just put it in the modifier box and then you click on the button.
But then I can't remember if it's dollar or a hash. You have to put.
Oh yeah, to put the actual hesitance in.
You can put brackets /hesitant in closed brackets.
It's not slash though, was it?
$sign.
No, I thought you put a $sign in. So string. It's a string, so you.
Yep, there we go. So Sophia's hesitant. We have a major phobia and a minor phobia.
And I've got a vulnerable.
And you got a
As have I.
vulnerable. Yes, unfortunately.
And Hung got distracted.
Un got distracted. We've got a vulnerable, hesitance. John Watt
Got a minor phobia.
got a minor phobia.
And
Great.
Mercy got a
Somehow,
major phobia.
Mark. Okay. So that isn't an irrational. It doesn't say it's an irrational one, does it? It is a phobia hindrance somehow associated with trauma. Wow. I think the obvious answer
Phobia
there.
description is a rational fear. That's the definition of the word.
I know. That's where it gets interesting.
Sausages.
Mm,
Because you don't trust that's what they actually are.
Yeah, possibly.
or woods. We could put fear of being in the woods.
Woods
Fear
would
of
make
tents.
Woods would make sense, which is a real bug. Have you just given yourself phobia a hindrance, Mercy? Or did you already have a phobia?
I know, I just gave it to me, but I didn't specify what the phobia was.
Okay. It's a major phobia. I'm going to have to say woods at night. I think it should be. It's in the woods at night, I think, because that's what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Because there's not many. I mean, there's not.
Because this whole area is
Many
just full of woods.
There's not many woods, so it would only affect this particular location. So yes.
Yeah, so you've got major and minor phobias of woods at night, which we need to activate right now, don't we? A major phobia is -2 on all trait rolls, isn't it? And a minor phobia
-1.
is -1. So it's a phobia. Oh, that interesting bug. Sorry. I'm feeling a little
Good.
dark woods. I'm going to make it. That's not woods at night or really dark woods, because that's even more evil of me. John Watt, dark woods, trait -1. Okay, so that's everything. Now I just need everyone to make a notice check, please.
I didn't have time to make me bomb.
This will be an opposed notice, just to let you know. So if you're happy with your notice checks, that's fine by me.
I will remind you I took danger sense. I have danger sense.
And if you're picking a random person, it's me.
Not necessarily.
No, it probably is. If it's a random, if somebody gets attacked,
if someone gets
randomly,
attacked
it's
at
me.
random, it's him because he's got the hindrance.
Yes, so do I.
Okay.
All right, okay.
Okay, so that's fair enough.
Wow.
You two can fight over it.
Okay.
Mine's only minor though, so it depends on whether you've got a major trouble magnet.
Okay, so I make that a 2, a 4, a 4, a 5, a 4, and a 7 for Sophia. Because her danger sense does kick in. This is a surprise check.
Well, since I've only got one Benny, I'll take the success. Which
Well,
at least gets me dealt in.
Doesn't, because it's an opposed roll. It's versus the strength of whatever's trying to surprise you. Strength, stealth. That's why I'm just saying. I'm going to roll it now. Unless anyone wants to. Oh, Sophia just disconnected in. Right, okay, everyone's surprised. That's unfortunate, isn't it?
Oh dear.
So basically, no one gets to go apart from that. Okay, I need a roll-off between the amazing Adolfo and John Watt. Both of you roll a 20-sided dice. Whoever gets the lowest loses. That 2 changed at the very last second, didn't
Okay,
it?
I just tried rolling a d20 then, and because I've not got the d20 on the board,
Oh,
have I?
of course, no. Okay.
Add it to the board in 2 seconds.
Okay, I can roll for you because I can just type that and it'll roll a d20 in chat.
You can add the D20 just by going up to your
Yeah.
dice thing.
I can, but I put slash roll d20 and it rolled an unskilled.
Oh well, I got you a 13.
Okay,
Just
well,
switch to your 20-sided dice.
I got lowest then, didn't I? Definitely.
I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to work out what I want. There we go. Let's try again. Yeah, that's better. Look, there's some new. Yeah, there's been. Oh look, I've got new dice now. Actually, I like the arm ones. I'm going with the arm ones. Okie dokie. So that means the amazing Godolpho. There we go.
Ouch.
Okay. You'll be happy to know it doesn't have frenzy, so it's just a straightforward claw attack upon you,
Oh joy.
which hits.
Not that much of a surprise.
Doing 13 points of damage and a wound. Basically, do you want to take it, or do you want to soak? Do you want to spend your last penny to soak it, or do you want to take the wound?
I'll take that.
Probably a good. It's probably a good move. Okay, and then I'm going to have it evilly jump off into the woods. Making your stealth check. Okay. Combat round number 1. One's up.
Ouch! Feck! Arc! Oh! Ow! Oh! That's smart. That's smart. Did you see that?
What? Where? Something happened? What?
Fucking bit me.
What bit you?
The thing, the big thing with the big teeth, the Wendigo, like what I said.
Right.
He's definitely bleeding.
Can I use an infernal device?
One will drunkenly stumble this direction. What? Something? What? Attacked? Where? Huh?
Right. I'm
Don't
going to
get
use
too
it.
close to the woods.
I'm going to use an infernal device.
Okay, but it's not your go yet.
Yes.
If it's mine, I apologise. I'm trying to get back into Fantasy Grounds.
No, it's okay.
I'm going to back
Dolpho's
away.
go. I've just gone on hold waiting to see something that I can shoot.
I'm going to back away towards the fire.
Yep.
And who shall I do a support? I will do a support roll for Mr. Money because I know he's got the ghost gun. And say, it's right there. It went into the bushes there. Now, you got to listen out very carefully. It moves very quietly. It's big, but it's stealthy. So keep an eye out. I'll shout if I see it. When I nod my head, you shoot it. No, not my head. It.
Yeah, I won't shoot your head. Don't worry.
And that'll give Mr. Money a +2 to.
Whatever he does.
I'll make it your choice if the roll to interrupt it or your roll to shoot it.
I already get a +2 to interrupt, so.
Okay. I shall end my turn.
Mercy Vancouver.
Well, Mercy ain't going into the dark woods by herself. She's going to come around to this side of the campfire, and she's going to dump out whatever pan she finds there, and she's going to pull out the tallow candles that Patrick gave her and put them in the pan to start melting them and put the pan over the fire.
That's a
a
sensible
very
action.
good idea.
I like that.
And that's going to be Mercy's turn. I sure as to hell ain't going in them dark woods by myself, Patrick. You first.
Yeah, short of a gentleman to say ladies first, but you keep pointing out I'm no gentleman.
John Watt.
Not even human.
Hang on, like somewhere in the kit. It's not automatic. Systematic. Is it hydromatic? No, it's grease lightning. I'll have some grease lightning, please.
Go on then.
So I'll have a quick edge, and I'll not take a card less than an 8.
You keep talking then. Just keep talking.
We'll make your weird science roll and apply the effect to yourself.
I don't think we've got an effect ready for it, do we?
No, of course, it's not Pathfinder, is it?
No.
Have to launch up Pathfinder now just to see how we do it. How do we do it? I can't remember.
We'll just put an effect. Just put in an effect of 5 rounds. Just give us a quick edge with 5 rounds. I don't know if it's the quick edge and it's 8.
The quick edge were G5s. That's what I'm looking at. You see.
But there's the device.
Yeah. So it is speed, isn't it? Powers. Speed sloth. Let's see if there's an effect. I can't remember. Oh my god!
What does power quick do then? It's going to be hard coded, isn't
quick.
it?
Yeah. Oh, quick is
It's just
obviously
the edge, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. You'll just have to remind me that if I deal you a card
less than an 8.
Yeah.
To keep going.
Yeah, because there isn't an effect.
It'll increase the probabilities of us getting a joker, you see.
Right. Okay. That's fine. You basically take your greased lightning pill. That brings us, when you end your turn, to Sophia D.
Are you there, dear?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. I am going to really sorry that Juan isn't in this, but I'm casting Holy Symbol with the area effect modifier. Unless a large would catch him. If a large would catch him, I can spend the extra points and go bigger. Let's see. Heck. So hard to move these things.
A large would catch him.
Oh, in that case, I'll up it. I'll pay the extra. Cool.
Okay, make your faith roll.
You know what? I'm gonna add everything to it. There's not much I can do, so let's do it all in this. I'm gonna up the area effect. Give everybody hurry and make it strong. Actually, strong. Yeah, strong. That makes there is a point in that.
Gosh, I am truly missing the fact that I spent hours putting in all the powers into Pathfinder and Fantasy Companion when I played Deadlands, and none of the effects are in there.
Yeah. So that's going to cost me 8 power points.
And it's successful.
Yeah. So I'm going to kneel on the ground and spend my action praying for protection for myself and my companions.
So you did area of effect and you did hurry. Did you That's how many is it? It's 3 power points, 6 power points. Hurry makes
did
it.
strong.
I thought you did strong. I wasn't sure if you. I thought you would have done strong. I just wasn't paying enough attention to hear
Yeah.
you say it at the time.
Yeah, strong and hurry. I put on there.
Okie dokie. So there we are. Pace plus 2. Pace plus 2. Pace plus 2. Plus 2. Pace plus 2. We've got to target you, which is fine. And I just need to 5, 5, 5. So much easier when you have the effects programmed in. Okay, that's all good. And I'm just going to I'm going to have to remind myself that I'm going to update everyone that we've got the strong, which means I have to make a -2 to a spirit check to attack you. Which doesn't seem sporting to my mind, you know. Only one of it. Doesn't seem at all sporting. Okie dokie. When you end your turn, that will be the end of the round. If anyone who is on hold looking at you, William Money, and you wish to act, now's the time to do so.
Waiting for something to actually move since there was a.
Oh, it's moved. You just didn't see it.
Well, you can stay on hold for the next round.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to stay on
Start
hold.
on
That's
hold.
fine. You can start on hold. Okay, but William Money starts on hold. Mercy Vancouver gets to go first with the Ace of Diamonds.
Can I have an 8, please?
Oh, what?
Have an 8, please, Bob.
John Watt needs a redraw.
And another one.
Well, put me on hold because I'm just sitting in here melting candles. So
No problem. Sophia, you're up.
What? Everybody, Mercy's melting candles. What's Juan armed with right now?
His spear.
Okay. All right. Range is smart. What's my smart? Sorry, I'm not used to casting. Oh, just in range. So one's got a spear. Is anybody else holding a hand-to-hand weapon?
I've got my
Does
sword.
does my
That works on guns and all, doesn't it? You can put it on anything.
Does
Boost trait.
might
not smite.
didn't work on that because it counted as the bullets.
It counts as a whole packet of bullets, doesn't it? A whole quiver
The
of arrows.
magazine. So, sorry,
Yeah.
if it's a
Right.
revolver, it's all 6 bullets that are currently in the gun. So if there's less than 6 bullets, it's all the remaining bullets in the gun at the time you cast it.
Yes, it would. It works on everything. Yeah.
Like I said, it wouldn't work in my weapon.
Was yours a junkery weapon?
No, it's a power.
Oh, right.
So an air gun pistol, and I'm carrying an air gun pistol, but the air gun pistol's actually it's got about every power's a physical object I'm carrying.
You know what? It's a physical object. I don't see why casting smite on your trapping shouldn't work. Unless anyone can think of an argument why not. Bearing in mind, if bad guys can do it as well, if we agree that.
I'm continuing to pray then, and that should be. I'm going to Benny that this is going to apply to everybody.
Oh,
If it actually works.
Oh,
It doesn't. Never mind.
Only costs you
Doesn't
one power.
matter.
Only costs you 1 power point to fail, fortunately.
Well, that's nice. So I'll carry on praying ineffectually in that case.
Oh, is it me? It's me.
Oh, you bugger! You're above. Above a 9. Bugger, bugger, bugger. Right, hang on. So
Oh shit!
Right, I'm going to interrupt that thing.
I think I know why my prayer failed. It's in the middle of it. I went, holy fuck!
Okay, go and make your interrupt roll.
It's a
you
Are,
may
terrible
have-
roll.
are you
wanna
happy
change-
with a
might wanna-
5?
You might want to change it to a bad faction as well.
Point taken, but I've got my dice in my hand.
Red faction, please.
Are you happy with a 5?
Am I happy with a 5?
Are you going to stick with a 5 then?
I'm going to waste my last penny and get a 75. Better.
Well, there's a 7 and a 5 there.
Exactly. I'm impressed. I'll have to give you a Benny in a minute. And that's your last one, isn't it? Oh, it's enough. It's enough to interrupt. Except he's got Bennies, so I'm going to spend one. I'm evil today.
Oh, blue.
Okay, I'm afraid you do not get to interrupt. So I am going to basically attempt to rip Sophia D's face off. And miss as she ducks out backwards at the last second. And then it backs 2 inches back towards the woods, but it doesn't make it.
So you can shoot it.
Yes, I'm going to shoot it now.
Sophia, if you've got any melee weapons, you can smack it back as it tries to back away.
I do have a melee weapon. I'm wearing my melee weapon. It's a knuckle duster.
So whack it as it goes.
I will.
I think you have your whack before William Mundy gets to. I accept William's move because the point is it reacts and you counter react while Buddy's trying to sort himself out. You hit it.
There's a surprise. It didn't notice.
Mr. Money, sir, you're up.
Okay.
Good roll.
Don't forget your +2.
Was that carried over from a...
It's your next. It's the next roll, so you still get the support roll.
All right.
You hit it. Ow. Oh, flippin' heck. Don't you hate it when the dice just super explode on Mr. Big Bad?
Mm.
I'll spend one more. Maybe just one more. Okay, takes 2 wounds. That gets us to John Watt. Who hits it with his airgun pistol with a ghost bolt.
Phoba -1.
I can't spell phobia.
Phoba! He's got a Phoba!
Remind me not to
Ooh, I
give
like
you.
that.
Remind me not to give you any more bennies tonight. Oh, for crying out loud!
Yeah, so it's a new gizmo I got. I've had a moment of clarity.
Okay. It survives.
Very good. So you shot it and I shot it and Sophie punched it in the ghoulies.
I bet one's going to poke it with a stick now.
And what's going to pass his go?
What's going to pass his go? 12.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He is just in range of my pokey stick.
How annoying is that for me? That is.
That's good. We need to. Sometimes you just need to have the bad guys die quickly. Okay, it just feels good. Makes you feel like a bit of a hero.
Well, it looks like one missed because he didn't target him. And no, parry 8 would have been a miss anyway. So you can try again, of course, if you want to spend some of those sweet, sweet bennies.
Well, I poked at him anyhow. Pokey, pokey.
Amazing Adolfo.
I'm going to do something incredibly stupid.
So tell us something we ain't figured out for ourselves.
I want to go and grapple him
Okay.
and then drag him over towards Mercy at the fire. This
Go on,
is
then.
going to go very, very badly, I'm sure.
When to go very badly, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
You know what? I think I will Benny that. See if I can get a 13.
He
Hello,
gets.
Dave.
He's okay. So he's grappled.
And I want to drag him over here, open his mouth and say, Miss Vancouver, pour it in! Pour it in!
Okay. Now I'm going to determine that you've got hold of him. He's size 2, which means you can.
Yeah.
Pulling over something that's 9 feet tall, thick as a tree trunk is completely different to grabbing hold of it, in my opinion.
Oh,
So,
this is true.
so
But Mercy hasn't taken her turn yet, so she can bring the wax to you.
but if
Okay,
you
then
want to make an opposed strength check,
Well, I'm trying to open its mouth anyway, so I'll go for the opposed strength check and say, Miss Vancouver, pour it in! Pour it in!
Have you seen that mouth? You want to put your hands near them?
are you happy with a 7?
I am for now, but I might spend a Benny later. Go on, I'll use my last Benny. Why not? Yeah, I'm happy with a 7. I'm still saying, pour it in! Pour it in!
Okay, so are you coming off hold, Mercy?
Yeah. I'm going to step over here next to Patrick.
Ooh, well, man.
And I've got the thing of hot wax.
I think that's good. That strikes me. I think that sounds like opposed athletics to pour it in, don't you?
Well, actually, I was going to do something entirely different.
Oh, go for it.
To make him a little easier to cope with, or hopefully. Now I'll spend some bennies.
I thought her phobia wouldn't affect her until after the combat caused it.
Oh, no. You gain it instantly.
Try.
That's an interesting question, actually. Yeah, I see what you're saying there, but I understand the logic
I
of it.
remember reading that.
Well,
He gets an opposed spirit check.
But it wasn't the combat that caused her to be scared. It was the howl at the start of combat that caused her to be scared.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
remembering reading about it, that's all.
I just turned him into a bunny rabbit. Should make him easier to kill.
That is the one thing the GM did not expect.
You can tell by the absolute silence. Else is close. Another personal items fall into the ground they don't chase. Okay, regular permanent, but the first. Okay.
That's
Oh,
not
that
like
only
it-
lasts. You're going to change him into a bunny. Are you sure, bunnies? We've all seen what happens if you get an angry bunny that comes at your throat.
Yeah.
Well, I just spent 5 power points to accomplish that, so. And 3 pennies.
Your legs have twitchy little noses. And what's with all the carrots? What do
I've
they
got-
need such good eyesight for anyway?
I've got so many bennies I could use to re-roll that, but the concept of you turning a Wendigo into a fluffy bunny rabbit is too good not
I
to
mean, you
use.
realise
And
if
then
it's going to get
butchering
away,
the fuck out of it. Excuse my French.
you can just see what's going to happen. It's going to get away now, and some people are going to go back and go, oh, it's not dangerous. It's just a little bunny and rabbit.
Patrick still has it grappled.
Yeah.
I
will open his
actually-
mouth at that point.
For the record, there is actually a killer rabbit pog in the rule set. That's a killer rabbit.
I'd just like to point out that in my invention kit, I do not have a holy hand grenade.
Okay, now and I cut him down to size, guys. You guys kill him.
Where is he? He's there. There we go.
Pour
Actually, no.
the tallow down its throat.
That makes it a bit easy to handle.
Put it in your hat.
Okay, so then I need to take him. He's well, his stats have completely changed, haven't they?
We have an hour to dispatch him since I succeeded.
Okay.
Oh, Plum Patrick, what are you doing over here, wrestling with rabbits for?
I'm just holding on to the thing which has been killing everything.
You know, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it does.
$12. 7. Minus 7 dice. So that's okay. Bigger minus 12, 10, 8, 6. 5D. That should do it. Now, if it makes a vigor check now, it's not working. Why didn't that? Oh, because I put vigor minus 5 by mistake. 5D. Let's try that again. Make a vigor check now. Roll again. D4. Brilliant. Okay. Okay. I've just randomly decided the stats for a bunny. It has a bunny effect. That was the end of that round. New round is off we go. The amazing Adolfo is first.
I pull open its mouth and say, pour the feckin' tallow in, would you? Please!
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do that as an athletics roll to assist Mercy pouring the tallow down the throat.
Okie dokie. Juan, you're up.
One's going to go on hold.
Can I have a 9, please? Sorry, I've got no, I've got an 8. Oh. No, I've got an 8.
Down by 5 dice. That should be 5. There we go. And done the toughness. There we go. It's the Baron's go, isn't it? Okay. It's going to chitter madly and attempt to break free of your grip upon it.
Okay.
Okay, why did because I did agility, not athletics. Sorry. Ignore that roll. I'll try again in a second. Right. Try athletics now, shall we? Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Okay.
Oh no, you don't, you wee little bugger.
Mr. John Watt. There's, I freely admit, there's something I never expected to see in my combat tracker. Athletics affected by bunny.
Wanted it just small enough to make it easy to kill, man.
Can I? So you're trying to get this stuff down the throat. I wonder if I can pour it down the throat.
Yes, that's the idea. Some fecker pour this down the throat, please, now.
Can we use telekinesis to do it?
Yeah.
You've got +2 paste at the moment, you know.
I know that, but
You've only used 3.
in fact, tell a lie. Let's not screw this up. We'll make a support roll for Mercy to get the stuff down its throat.
Yeah,
Okay,
because I got the next round.
That's +3.
Well, not with that roll.
Oh no, +2 still.
No, we're going to.
Okay, +4.
Alright, so I'll create a telekinesis funnel.
Let's make sure this really happens, shall we? It's now +8.
All I'm doing is pouring the wax down his throat.
Yeah, just pour it over. Just pour it over the rabbit. It'll just spiral round the flux in his mouth.
Let me target the rabbit. Okay, Mercy, make an athletics check. Should oppose
At a
it.
+8. At a +8.
At a +8, yes. At a +8, an athletics check at +8.
You had
Oh, jeez.
You had one job.
Benny it.
Yeah, it won't. I'll turn off the opposing now because it doesn't get to re-roll unless I choose to let it re-roll. So you just need to beat a 14 with a +8 modifier. Oh, dear.
What happens if we play an adventure card to succeed with an ace?
Then you automatically succeed. Then you automatically succeed.
Out of interest, what's the fear level?
Oh, you gave me. Oh, you gave us a Benny. Give me a Benny back. I thought I didn't drop my Benny, and you had given us an extra one. And I dropped the second Benny.
Fear level's 5.
So can we exceed? Can we succeed with an ace then, please?
He's played perfect timing.
Yeah, so you basically, I have to give you perfect timing, gives you perfect timing, so you succeed with an ace. Okie dokie, you pour hot tallow wax down the bunny's throat.
Yeah, that's a phrase you hear every day in gaming, isn't it?
Indeed.
Dies choking in agony.
Okay, the bunny rabbit takes 4 points of damage and it's shaken.
Let me guess. The DM's saying because it's not a Wendigo, it doesn't count.
The spell transforms into something else. It is actually a rabbit right now.
Great. Okay.
All you gotta do is behead the damn thing. Hey, I hear rabbit's feet are lucky.
Maybe I'm being a dick about the interpretation, but it's a curse. She physically changes it into an animal, not makes it like an animal. It is a shape change. And you know what happens when you shape change? You lose all the effects of the creature you were, don't you? And just become the creature you are.
It's that creature for an hour, so we got an hour to deal with this thing.
Yes.
In which case, Juan will come off of hold.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. What happens if you cancel the spell and turn it back into a Wendigo?
Does it transform?
Yeah, do I look insane?
But it's got a belly full of things.
I
so
don't
all-
sit there and chew ghost rock, dude.
Well, I bet it's
Ian, if it's taken an injury in a form and then is then transformed, does it become an injured version of what it's transformed into?
Yes, but it's still a wildcard bunny.
Yeah. I've just thought, because we pumped its stomach full of wax, if you turn it back into a Wendigo, does that not mean it's going to start choking straight away?
There it goes. Oh, God. That bunny seemed to explode.
I was just expecting the moment the thing died for it to suddenly revert to its original size and shape while he was holding it.
No.
Yeah, so I suppose we can all, since we're all holding a corner of it, just, have at it with her.
Someone's just not.
But
Someone's
No,
just,
because
someone's
the
just
spell
not
is
because
still
they want the
going.
coup. The spell's still going, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spell's got a duration of an hour. So for the next hour, that's a dead bunny.
Aye, slice and dice.
We were to not kill the bunny, were we?
It's not that, it's something else. We were supposed to kill the bunny.
Well, as long as the bunny's dead, I don't care. We're not going to cook it now, are we?
Yeah.
I was going to shoot it. I don't know what you lot were doing. I was about to get to it and blow it up, but yeah. It's lucky, really, because if I'd have missed you, there was at least 3 of you I might have accidentally killed.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Would have been an accident, though. It wouldn't have been intentional at all.
Oh, that would have made it hurt less. An intentional death is so much less painful.
Yeah, nothing like Grim Server to Death running a crit fail when firing a rocket launcher, though. That just that tops it all.
Yeah. And sorry, guys, but I just I didn't know if it would work on a Wendigo, but I that.
But that's got to be the most
don't blame you.
spectacular way of killing something I've ever come across. Death by bunny.
It's good
Turn
it
it
worked.
into a rabbit and pour melted wax down its throat. Please say nobody was watching.
I'm just the whole. It's just. I'm going to turn the
The
Wendigo
horror
into a
level
bunny.
should now go up for the whole world because we've just been torturing bunny rabbits with hot candle wax. We're actually the ones causing all the problems. We're worse than the Wendigos.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I'm not the one who turned it into a bunny rabbit, and bunny rabbits don't give coo.
It's all right. I'll just carry it around for an hour and then it'll turn back into a Wendigo and I'll count coup on it then.
That's already
Please
done. It's
carry it in your pocket. I'm not going to see that.
it's when when it's defeated. It's in an hour's time. It was defeated an hour ago.
Oh well, in that case, it was defeated when it was turned into a rabbit. If it's just when it's defeated that counts.
I'm still.
My children.
I don't care. You're not getting it, I'm afraid, because bunny rabbits don't count. You can't count coo on a bunny rabbit.
Righto.
It's not my fault. I didn't change it from a man-eating monster that gives you extra special abilities into a cute little fluffy bunny rabbit that you poured hot wax down its throat.
Yeah, and I didn't get coup from the werewolf last week either. I don't know. I think you just don't want me to count coup on anything.
Why didn't you get it from the werewolf?
Because you told me that werewolves don't.
Oh, that's
don't have a
because
coup ability.
that's because werewolves in the werewolf stats are completely buggered in Deadlands. That's why.
Ah, because I'm certain that werewolves do. Were critters of all kinds actually do have coup, but never mind.
I think no, I don't disagree. I don't. I think I looked it up and I forgot all about it. So, oh well, you'll just have to kill another one another day and get it then, won't you?
I guess so, but we should probably take this back and
Skip the crap out. It's the thing that's been killing all your loggers. It's a bunny.
Yeah, right.
It's the
And
beast,
thus is where Monty Python got their inspiration.
the beast of Terbanog.
That horrible pointy teeth.
If we can get it back in 58 minutes, this could be a very dramatic story.
It could indeed. Quick, let's get back now. I want to pull it out of my hat and show them.
Weird critter wolf. Yeah. Where Chris Wolf does not have a coup entry in Fantasy Grounds, but I do believe I looked it up in the rulebook and it does. Seeing I didn't create the Deadlands Marshals Guide, it's not my fault.
Not my fault. Bigger boys did it.
I think next time round it will be my problem. Kill's decided he hates doing modules. He's happy to do the rule sets. So next edition, I'll probably end up having to do the
I need to
module.
send him a patch tonight on the rule set. I'm tired though, but I've got a patch for him.
Right. So you head back, and you're going to attempt to tell the tale, are you?
Yep.
You?
Since we took care of a big combat and I did my part, some weird stuff is going on here and I kind of gotta go.
Okay.
Okay.
See you next time. Or see you Saturday, in fact.
Yeah, I already signed up for Saturdays.
You did sign up for Saturday.
Is that your bread shenanigans?
That is Wizards of the Toast. Yeah.
Wizards of the Toast, yes.
Yeah, I couldn't pass up that because we know what that's a slam on, right?
I
Yes,
didn't
the
write.
slam on,
I didn't write the adventure, but the evil Hasbrodius is attempted to revoke the open baking license. Therefore, all bread-based products can no longer be made.
No.
Yeah, that is amazing. They shit themselves and backed out of that so well, didn't they? And now they've made it actually better than it was. So that's good.
Well, no, but it's not really.
It
But
is.
they made themselves the butt of quite a number of jokes. So
I
there's that.
well, I mean, supposedly millions of people left D&D Beyond, and they were, and I think it was the fact that they really did genuinely believe that geeks would actually boycott the movie. I think also didn't help.
Oh yeah, they don't want to make them.
Because at the end of the day, they're geeks. They, you know what I mean? They know the geeks will still watch the movie. They just know the geeks won't pay to watch the movie.
So Piazzo fulfillments went into panic mode as well. It's like, it's okay. The supply chain's perfectly fine. We've got a whole warehouse full of books. No, you don't. They all sold. The whole warehouse gone. Try to keep suppliers stocked.
We'll never hear the truth, the truthful effect it had. But I imagine it was quite. I do think
they've really fucked it now. They really have. You pardon my French.
But anyway. But yes, so if you're around on Saturday and you want to stop the evil demon lord Hasbrodius revoking the open baking license, this is your chance to do so.
And I'll talk to you guys on Saturday.
Speak to you then. Take care.
It was fun. I couldn't wait to use that spell. So
I have to say I'm going to have to go back and look at my face when you said it because I'm sure it was an interesting one.
yeah, I'll have to watch it here in a while. But when I get done with what I got to go do, so I'll
No
talk
worries.
to y'all later.
I think we go back to the fort and tell the soldiers.
Okay,
They're the ones on whom it'll have the biggest effect, I have a feeling.
I agree.
Indeed.
How long a travel time from the fort are we?
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it? Would be the most unfair way to do that.
What's that? What
40 minutes.
Okay, we've got time then.
Can we
Run to the fort.
Can we shrink that down?
Well, I've got pace +2 for a little bit.
No, but you can have pace +2 on skateboards.
That's true.
He wants to grease your feet again.
Trust me on this. I don't know why anyone objects to this, right? But trust me, it works. So let's make that distance. If it's more than a mile, then everything after a mile is 1/3.
Well, it's probably just a trail back through the cap. So yeah, it probably is. Okay, so we'll see you get back in 30 minutes then. How's that sound?
Sergeant, gather your men. You'll want to see this.
I'll aid any persuasion required for him to get the sergeant to gather his men with my breasts.
And I'm not talking about Miss D's breasts either.
Dookie. Brilliant money has returned. Did you feel the need to disconnect because Elspeth was disconnecting?
No.
I just had a little minor hiccup.
No worries. One thing I actually haven't looked here. I think it is just as bad on Windows, judging by the. No, it's not actually. And I spun up a Linux box to put thingy on it the other week, and God, the CPU goes through the roof when I fire up Fancy Grounds on Linux.
Yeah, I can remember to raise my computer up so that it stops burning whatever's underneath it.
Yeah, the graphics. My graphics card is definitely working hard, but yeah, the CPU on Windows is bad.
I turned all that. I did use there's a command to turn the graphics down, isn't there? Just turn it down. You don't need Fantasy Grounds. Doesn't need mega.
That is true, actually.
Engines.
That is true. I always forget that.
Over Christmas, I was so poor I couldn't afford to put the heating on, and I turned the graphics card up to keep my leg warm. That's true. That's true.
I'm just using the power pack of the computer as a hot water bottle, so I know exactly what you mean.
I keep getting in trouble because I keep forgetting to wake up in the morning and turn the heating up downstairs. Because obviously in my office, I'm sitting here with my gaming rigs next to me, and yeah, this room's the only room in the house that doesn't have the radiator on because it's got a graphics card in it.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. That was my heating over the winter.
Although whether or not the graphics card costs more than the electricity to run the graphics card costs more than the gas to heat the house, I'm not sure. But anyway.
But I needed it anyway, so
it's /vsync commands, isn't it, that changes the frame rates, isn't it? I'll have to look that one up again.
It's working over places.
This is /sync 0 to 4.
Yeah, and there's something else as well. There's the one that turns the performance up and down here.
Is that GC or something? There's a /GC. I'll have to Google it because I need to do it on the Xbox. So the Xbox is a virtual machine anyway. I'm mucking around, just playing around with stuff to have her stuff. But anyway, okay, the soldiers are gathered around.
Image quality 0 to 3. That's it.
Fair enough. Righty-ho.
Now, I know most of you had no love lost for your old commanding officer, and to be perfectly honest, having seen the way he turned out, I can understand why. Sounds like the feller was an absolute bastard of the First Order. But I'll tell you something. What he's done, he's not going to do to anyone else. What he did turned him, ate him up inside.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
And made him into something else. Now, I would like to postpone the speech so that I have the appropriate dramatic throw the rabbit on the floor and it turns into a Wendigo, by the way. Hopefully.
Okay. Okie dokie. Make
But
your
I'll tell you,
buckle.
as I promised, we went out, we found what your captain had turned into. And what he did to you men here, he will never do to another again. Here is what your captain has become, and I will take my hat off and pull the rabbit out by its ears. And then throw it on the ground.
Okie dokie. I think let's make it. I think this is definitely a performance check. You'll need the race who've got the timing just right.
Right, but I do appear to have I've got the +4 support though.
Yeah.
And the +2 from the edge, so performance. I think that'll do.
Okay, I'm not sure if that will actually make him happier or not.
It will give them dark comfort.
I have to say, Telltale is a bit obscene. Well, this campaign and Telltale is a horrifying way to just rack up conviction points, isn't it?
Isn't it?
There we go.
Yeah, you're going to need it. You're going to need conviction points for rolling fear checks if it carries on the way it's going.
Yeah,
Minus
well,
37 on every fear check. You've had a heart attack and died.
okay. The fear level is reduced to 4.
Yay.
Hooray!
Just looking at that previous map we were on, I'm a little bit impressed that they managed to roast a chicken on the campfire.
Yes, I noticed that after I finished. As I say, it was a quick Google for a logging camp map, and that's what I
You
found.
can roast a chicken on a campfire. You have to have a pan big enough to put the whole chicken in with a lid, a metal lid, and you put the chicken in the pan but dry. And then the pan heats up and you roast it in a pan oven heated on the campfire.
Only people like you would know that.
Maybe they roasted it and then next to the pie, and then so whoever come in and killed them all knocked it in the fire.
I found
It's,
You can
it's
also
all
spit roast.
neatly laid out on a
Yes,
crate.
that's true.
You can't you just put it through a stick, stab a stick through it and
Rotate it.
You
Yes.
can do
Put it
that as
over
well,
the
yeah.
fire,
Well, they're
then-
obviously professional camp cookers.
and then take it off and put it on a plate, eat it.
I see. I went camping with the cub. I went camping with the Cubs once. Hated it. Joined the Air Cadets and enjoyed camps forevermore. When you go camping with the Air Cadets, it's in
You
buildings.
stay in a hotel.
It's in buildings, and for breakfast, dinner, and tea, you go to the airman's mess for food.
Right. I see.
It's a true story. I was actually in Norway once and started handing out tents. The guy goes, "I'm from the RAF," and I went, "I know, this is your accommodation." I gave him a tent. He started crying. That's absolutely true.
Once a year, I think it was in January. There was usually snow on the ground, or was it? Oh, no, it was in the autumn. It was always cold. We went to some army base. I can't remember where it was. An army camp, not an army base, an army cadet camp somewhere. And it was a very popular one because that was the only time we got to sort of do shoot the guns. We're not allowed to shoot as air cadets, but army cadets got to shoot. And so everyone always went to it, but the food was awful because it was army food, not Air Force food. That's my childhood.
Yeah, in the military, if an Air Force person has to stay on an Army base for any extended period of time, they get what's called basic allowance for quarters. They get paid extra because the Army quarters are so much worse than Air Force quarters.
Wow.
It is weird, isn't it, that they obviously America and England have got the same thing, and there is differing standards in the armed forces. I don't know where the Navy falls on terms of accommodation and stuff, because they're on ships, so they're usually crammed together, aren't they? So, never went to any sea cadets or naval bases as a cadet. So, there we go. Anyway, so Bear River has been done. Anyway, apparently that's an Incarnate map. Apparently, I got that off the Incarnate Reddit. Apparently,
Cool.
I just searched for logging camps. So thank you whoever made that map. Thank you for whoever made that map. Anyway, there we go. That's sorted out. Bear River.
Marvel.
Ooh.
Back to Heaston Hill.
Back to Heaston Hill by train to. How do you want to do it? Train to Bridger?
Seems reasonable.
Brilliant.
By train to Bridger, then take the trail to Fort Bridger, where we will let the commander of Fort Bridger know that the fort at Bear River needs a new commanding officer.
Yeah, we will have obviously discussed with the sergeant exactly what we're going to say about that, so we don't get them in trouble.
Therefore, their officer went AWOL.
Mm.
There we are.
Fort Bridger is, then you're going to go to Fort Bridger, through Uri and back to Heaston Hill. So I'm going to say it's a couple of days later by the time you get back to Heaston Hill. Because why not? That means I can see what's happening now. We're on to Okay. Okay, sounds like things have got interesting in Heaston Hill while you've been away the last couple of days.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I've got a handout to give you all. Which is handout. Handout. It's a letter. Yesterday, a letter to the editor appeared in the Heaston Hill Examiner.
Ooh.
So when you get back into town today, there's an angry mob of protesters marching through the street and congregating around Heaston's place. We, the citizens of the fair city of Heaston Hill, have watched with great interest as a trading post rose from the foothills, burgeoning into a fledgling territorial metropolis we know today. There is no question of our good fortune, but as responsible residents, we must grapple with the issues of letting our greed get in the way of our bright future. April's tragic disaster stole 22 lives, and more have died since. So we draft this letter to humbly suggest a course of action that will cement Heaston Hill's prosperity for all time. The town council must, as soon as feasible, require by law that all miners of Tarrytown Bench be legally bonded employees of the Heaston Mining Company. Mr. Heaston has brought electric lights and a measure of riches never seen before in Winter. I still can't pronounce that, so I apologise if anyone ever watches it from that county. Let us trust him to provide all miners' safety and indeed the safeguarding of the entire town and legacy. To do aught else would be to invite catastrophe. Signed, Robert Malone.
I'm quite interested in the article below. Would like to know how it continues.
Mm.
But the trouble is, Heaston prints a newspaper. This is his newspaper.
It is, yes.
Because
It's a letter to the editor by Robert Malone, though.
Yeah, but whatever. But the
Hmm.
paper's owned by Heaston. Because when we met him, and I'm saying, "Have you read the papers?" and he said he was perfectly clear. He only read his own. He's only read his own newspaper, not the newspaper I was referring to. Because I was unhandedly trying to say that he did claim jumping. You know what I mean?
I actually want to read the rest of the article below that, considering
Yeah,
that they're
me
talking
too.
about
I'm sure it's got
strangers in
nothing to
town
do
and
with us.
cause. Yeah, you be sure. I would rather read it and check and make sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't have that one. But that could be, maybe it is you people. Who knows?
That's the whole idea in it. You read that and go, that must be us, but you don't see.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should go and have a look and see what where these folks are going. I have a feeling they might be a little bit angry about that letter, you know.
I mean, but is Robert Malone a person? And by the way, the key word in all that is bonded.
Hmm.
That's indentured. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and all miners.
Indeed.
That's compulsory and indentured servitude. You know,
Slavery.
more or less. You know what I mean?
Bob, obviously Bob's the one is what's the face's friend, wasn't it? That's Prospector Bob, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yes.
He was because when we met him with his shotgun, he was not happy the way he turned up. He didn't want us to jump his claim, and then we explained who we were. He was quite helpful after that. But
He was. I had missed out something there. On more than once, he did keep offering you his water of life drink.
Robert Malone did.
Yes, but none of you took it because you saw him drinking it and the colour and the smell, but it did leave you a bit disturbed.
I
Let's
wonder
just
whether-
let's just say it was the right colour, but you don't think it was apple juice.
Right.
Mm. A
No.
spirited drink, I think.
Hmm.
I don't know. Is it a drink of a cult? I mean, because
It's aquavitae, the water
Sprinkle
of
a
Well,
little
it's
life.
named
ghost
for the
rock in it. I bet
tradies.
you drink it anyhow.
So
Anyway,
these protests.
The protesters are hanging around. Basically, when you get back into town, there is a large amount of protesters all around Heaston's house, rather. The other thing you notice is the marshal, as you come back into town, the marshal is standing before a dozen men, and they're all got their hands up at the moment, as if they're swearing an oath. And you also notice the marshal has a pile of silver stars in his hand.
So he's deputizing a lot of folks.
In order to enforce
Okay.
this,
What's the protest about?
They're probably
What's the
most likely I suspect they're independent miners, aren't they?
Hmm. What do I think the legal standpoint is likely to be on this?
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I don't know is the honest answer. You'll have to come up with your own solution on that one. He said you suspect Heason will definitely be playing the whole the victim thing here, because obviously the letter was written to the editor by someone else, in no way in terms of him. At the same time, with people besieging his property and everything else, then suppose from a legal point of view, he can very much claim the victim of all these people that obviously want to do him harm.
But do I think there is, well, there's no real legal standpoint that the town could insist all miners become bonded employees of the Heaston Mining Company. If they own their own land, they're welcome to do with that land what they wish.
Well, no, you see, that's the thing, isn't it? If the town council pass a law, then technically this is one of those things, isn't it? If the town council pass a law that all miners be legally bonded employees, then it's a legal requirement to do so, and that becomes the law, regardless of the ethics of it, isn't it? That's the way the law works, isn't it? The law is blind, as it were. So if that's a legal requirement, then it's the law and it has to be upheld. Is obviously why people are rioting.
But the law hasn't, as far as we're aware, been.
You've only been
changed,
gone.
has
You've only
it?
been gone. You've only been gone 2 days. Apparently, last night. Also, as you come back to, apparently last night, a number of fires and windows were shot out in the vicinity of Chinatown as a group of Chinese ethnic minorities, as it were, apparently rioted themselves.
Hmm.
in fact, I don't need to roll for this because it's in the background. Yes, so the law of externality applies. So theoretically, outside the town limits, the council doesn't really have any power, but the council could vote to exclude people from entering the town. So the miners don't have any supplies, they don't have any transport, you know what I mean, etc.
well, they don't even have to vote to exclude them from town. They just have to make it so that the town gets a cut of everything that is sold that isn't bonded by
Yeah,
Houston.
tax they can put
Hmm.
on
Yeah,
taxes or tariffs, or you could just make it really, really prohibitive for outsiders to trade there. So, but they couldn't actually go on to somebody else's property and go get off my land because it isn't their land.
Yeah, but they've got
It could
20.
make
How many
life really
marshals did you
difficult
say?
for
How
them.
many deputies did you say he was making?
I think Heaston is a problem that needs to be solved.
But on the in the old newspaper article, he has pretty much stormed in under the pretension that he's enforcing. You know, he's protecting against bandits. He's gone and invaded somebody,
Well, I think
and
firstly
taken their land.
we need to stop there being a massacre in town and calm things down. And then I think we need to find Prospector Bob, because that doesn't sound like a letter he would have written.
I agree.
No, I don't think that did. I think that letter to the editors actually written by Heaston
Yeah.
because it's his newspaper.
So if needs be, I'm going to stand up in front of everybody and try and calm them down if nobody else seems to be doing it.
Oh, as soon as the dozen men are deputized by the marshal, they head. Oh, where's the map? Where's the map of the town? Let's get the map of the town up. Images. Hill. Map Heaston Hill. That's the one we're sharing out. Anyone
I'm not sure that's going to be the best way to have it quieted down either, to be honest.
Anyone see number 1 on the map?
Yeah, Main Street, bottom.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. So as you're so obviously you're up in Len Buckle's house. You'll be coming in down the Fort Bridger Trail.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I imagine the logic I'm using is you've been back in a while and you've heard things. You've headed as you heading down First Avenue past the Marshalls thing. You know what I mean? You've heard about it. So as you're heading down the road, what you see is the marshal and a dozen deputies walk down First Avenue. They then head down Main Street. As they get to the Alvord Detection Agency, Bert Alvord, who runs the place, and a huge mounting of a man called Sledge comes out with him, along with 7 additional members of his detective agency. So the 20 or so of them march down towards, basically start marching out to Heaston's, head down Main Street and start heading up to Heaston Manor. And where basically they will break up the demonstration, possibly not too subtly, but they will break it up.
So what's
with Heaston standing on the balcony, looking very much the injured party in all of this.
So what does Frank Debony have to say about it all?
That's a very good question. Where is Frank Debony?
Frank Debony he runs the general store, right? But he's actually the head of the trade union, of the newly formed trade union.
He is. I know what he's up. I know he's up to something, and I read it earlier, but I can't find it now. So bear with me. Well, he's probably leading the Tarrytown Miners Union at the. He's trying to. It would turn out as basically. I'm going to assume you and the detectives and everyone else gets up there. By the time you get up to Heaston Circle, as it were, it looks like there's the fighting's actually going on with like the union fighting amongst itself.
Someone's been stirring up trouble while we've been away, mate.
So basically, half of them. Well, there's infight. It seems there's arguing going on, which you get the impression there's infighting over Prospector Bob's portrayal. The mayor's up there begging for calm, and then obviously in wades the detectives and everyone else. So basically, everything's everything's brutally and efficiently split up. The net result of it is over the rest of that day, everyone's very, very distrustful of each other, and nothing's going very well. And I just need to make a slight modifications to the global effects. It's in hill now. As the fear level goes up.
Not much of a surprise there.
Do you know what? This doesn't seem like A versus B at all, does it?
Is Building 23 Heaston's house, or
Yes,
is that
Building
something else?
23 is Heaston's house.
What are the other buildings in Heaston Circle?
In Heaston Circle, that's a good question. Heaston Manor. He didn't just build himself a mansion when he came to town. To accommodate his vision, he had surveyors plot out a new road at the north end of Tarrytown Street called Heaston Circle. A big arch sign over the entrance gate says Heaston Manor. The circle encompassing a rambling 2-story home, a barn, stables full of riding horses, outbuildings, sheds, separate kitchens and servants' quarters. There you go.
Mm. I think we need to go and find Prospector Bob, so I do. I'm guessing I don't see him anywhere around town at the moment.
Indeed, you don't.
We need to talk to Frank, because was that actually planned, or was it why were they all fighting amongst themselves?
Well, obviously,
His group, maybe his group's been infiltrated.
Well, it just says it just says Tarrytown's Union falls into infighting over Prospector Bob's betrayal, apparently. So I imagine some people I would imagine is different people having different views about the contents of it. Some may say some of it makes sense, some may disagree, and you know what I mean. It's all that type of thing. Whenever you have a group of people,
let's go and find Prospector Bob and find out what he actually was. It actually him that wrote, and what was the intent? Was he misportrayed? Did somebody else make it up? All that sort of stuff. Let's go and find him. Ask him.
Yeah,
Get the
if
words for the
he's
horse's
even
mouth.
anywhere near his state.
Well, I do believe you do know that he comes into town every few days into town to resupply, because I'm sure you did all that. I seem to recall you did all that when you were finding out about him before, didn't you? So you
ask around and see
you could ask around the town with some networking, or you could just ride out and see him, of course.
Well, there's no reason we can't do both.
Well, the funny thing is, if you go and see Frankie runs a general store anyway, so you'll know when he turns up.
Yeah.
But Frank's supposed to be the head of the trade union that's supposed to be set up to stop Eastern bullying. So maybe he'll give us some insight about what actually went on and what the infighting was about.
Frank's probably out there leading it all, and Frank. Well, if you ask Frank, he's of the opinion that obviously that Prospector Bob had nothing to do with the letter. He obviously being a sort of the leader of the union, and obviously we are talking about clashing egos and stuff like that. As far as he's concerned, it's just that his miners' union had growing support, and Heaston was obviously starting to feel threatened by this. So he cooked up this whole letter to cause disharmony and infighting in the union. And I think that's probably also a good factor in what's going on, because some of the union believe that Prospector Bob did it. Some of the union won't believe Prospector Bob did it. Some of the union will believe that Frank Debney, when he says that Heaston, someone who works for Heaston, probably had something to do with it. So at the moment, he's sort of fighting. He's fighting, trying to keep the union together at the moment.
Let's go and get Bob to meet Isidore and Eustace.
You could also always go to the Examiner as well, of course, I suppose.
Aye, but they go to the journalist that wrote the first article. Take Bob to him, and Bob can talk to the reporter, and then he can publish the truth in a different paper.
But we've got to find Bob first.
Find Bob first.
And I have a feeling that he's not going to be at his place.
Okay, right. So 21 is the Heaston Hill Examiner. You hunt the. Oh, there it is on Main Street. If you want to go that way, you most certainly can. Otherwise, if you want to head out to Bob, you most certainly can. If you want to do some networking, you can also do that, of course.
I would
Aye.
like to ask around town, see who last saw Bob when he was last seen, and then head out to his place on the Tarrytown bench.
Okay. Obviously, I mean, the only reason I'm saying is if Bob wrote the letter to the examiner, then the examiner must still have the letter. Don't forget.
Oh, in all honesty, I have no doubt that the letter will be in Bob's handwriting. Whether or not Bob wanted to write it, is another thing entirely, which is why I don't think he's going to be at his.
Oh, fair enough then. Understood. If that's how
place.
I understand. Oh, okay. That's absolutely fine. Okay, let's have some networking rolls. See what you find out walking around town.
I will walk around town trying to be nice to people and asking questions and stuff.
I need to turn off people's phobias and effects because they don't apply anymore. Turn off drunken boxing. Get rid of holy symbol. Turn off quick. Turn off the dark woods phobia because you're back in town. Get rid of those. Place. Get rid of that. Turn off the dark woods phobia because you're back in town. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of hesitant. Get rid of the place. Get rid of that and keep on hot iron and whiskey. There we go.
Yeah, I think seeing as I'm having a moment of lucidness, we might as well check if we've got the right trousers on. Yes, okay, we have got the fancy pants on. Right, anyway. So what we shall do is take some savings and
Fuck
then
off! I had to stop the dice by swearing at it.
and yeah, we'll contact some landowners and Bob
You get a
Sharon
+1 from me for that, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where's Bob? What about Bob? So this whole episode is called "What About Bob," isn't it? Where's Bill Murray?
Well, we best go and find Bob then, hadn't we?
So Bob the miner, can we find him? Bob the miner, no, he's fucked.
Mm.
Mm.
All the way to Prospector Bob's claim.
Ooh.
Travel to the future. Not that much price.
See, oh yeah, I've got this. See, this is why I wanted to roll 32. You know?
Can't I just have a look around instead? I'll see what I can notice into place instead.
Oh, I know. I've got a cunning plan.
Uh-oh.
I guess that's
Apparently,
better than a
yes.
cunning clan.
It's a cunning clang. Yes. Yes. I was going to feel the temperature of his meal.
I think the donkey's dead.
Well, no, he's got a mechanical mule, so if it's not been
Ooh.
powered up, I can tell you how depending on how long it took to cool down, how long he's been gone for.
Well,
I'm sure that works really well in the desert heat with the
mm,
sun streaming down on it.
But yeah, the sun's been on it. I can't tell. It's just who knows. I could be just making this up all along. It could just be the cigarettes I'm smoking.
I just like the phrase, I want to feel the temperature of his mule.
Yes, but I've decided. Yeah, but with a tour, I'm making him it's not as much a mule as I'm making an ass of myself.
cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Lovely. So just the kind of weather that destroys all evidence.
Mm.
So I guess we should look in places where the weather couldn't reach. Presumably he slept and ate somewhere up here. Let's look there.
Also, look for signs of any kind of struggle, because I'm guessing he was taken away from here.
Yeah, both of those things. Oh, dear.
Oh well,
Yes.
at least he didn't knock something
Tell
over
you
and
what,
ruin everything for us.
can I have a oh look what big bang.
Unskilled, Juan is able to figure it out.
Great.
Okay.
Would it help if we had a bloodhound? Because I know a man I can borrow one off of.
I'm disturbed by this.
Yes, because one thing we keep overlooking, or I keep forgetting about, is technically we could hire an NPC that gets any skill that we don't have, like tracking, through connections edge. Aye, well, you can know what it costs a second. We just
I've got no cards
We
worth
get-
playing, but
we
okay.
get a friend to help us using my connections edge.
Absolutely. You go look after yourself.
Yes.
The Wendigo into a rabbit.
No, that's not.
Go and make yourself feel better.
Okie dokie. I don't know how long I've been talking without any voice there, but we're calling it a day there. Unfortunately, I'm definitely feeling a little digestively worse for wear. So thanks very much. I'll see you on Saturday if you want to watch Wizards of the Toast.
Thank you,
Otherwise,
everybody.
I'll see you. Otherwise, I shall see
Great
you
fun, guys.
next Wednesday,
Good old fun.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it was good. See you later.